Okay, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Sina Cup second season semifinals. This is Game 3, Vici Gaming versus DK, the decider. Winner advances to play against LGD China in the winner bracket final, and the loser is going to drop down to the lower bracket to slug it out in some best of ones to see if they can make it back up to the grand final. I'm Baseskip here providing coverage on behalf of Beyond the Summit, and joining me again for this third game is Winter.
Hi.
Hey Winter. So
The last game was like I forgot something as well. Like the last game was actually what DK likes to play a lot. You remember the time where 6.78 they were doing a lot of 3 versus 3 and 1 versus 1?
yeah.
This is like something they prefer to do, having Ice on 1 versus 1, having Mushi on 1 versus 1, and they make sure that Burning is in a tri-lane against the enemy team so they can utilize the two best solo players in the world they have.
Yeah, I mean, if you go by the 1v1 competition at TI, then Mushi and Ice are the number 1 and number 2 solo players.
Did I load up right? Yeah.
Yeah, you loaded.
Was it?
It's probably the Russian guy again? Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, it's not me. It's not me. That's all
I guess
need.
we're not going to load. Oh well. We'll see you guys in a second. Well, actually, no, let's not jump away. Let's not cut away. I guess we can keep chatting for a little bit. So, before we get into the nitty-gritty of the game, Winter, do you have any insight into maybe what the mentality of the players are going to be like heading into this final game? Do you think it's still going to be just business as usual for both teams, or does the kind of game that we saw just then rattle Vici Gaming a little bit?
Like for me, the biggest concern for DK is like, will the ping ever affect the gameplay enough to decide the outcome of the game? Like the rest of the factors in the game isn't really too bad. They just needed to have a. For me, the most important thing right now is the draft. The draft just decides so much, even more than the old patches. Like better lanings and better drafts are always going to give you the edge, and who is going to be more greedy and get away with it? That's the question.
I mean, the metagame in drafting at the moment is so interesting to talk about because there are so many viable heroes. There are so many pocket strategies that you can pull out, and as well, we seem to cycle through a fairly regular pool. But at the same time, if you're a team that's willing to move just a little bit outside of that, you can often catch people completely unawares with your fifth pick. So. More difficult than 6.78 drafting, would you say? I feel that 6.78 was pretty solved by the end of it. People were very familiar with what was going on.
Yeah, 6.79 is very, very confusing, and there were always so many new ideas, so many novelties, and you never know whose idea is actually the idea that is the strongest. Like everyone seems to be winning. Like if you look at the recently concluded 2 tournaments, MLG and DreamHack, you won't be seeing any other team play with and Tiny like how Fnatic, and they are able to beat almost everyone with it. And the only game they lost was in the finals against Navi when they picked the Wiz and Tiny. So it's really hard to say which strategy is better or which one is more potent in the current patch. I would just feel like it's more to who is able to play a strategy better and what is more suitable for your team, so that your team so that it brings out the best from your team.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that anybody had the objectively, for example, in our series today, right? I don't think there's been an outdraft at all between these two teams. I think Game 2 was down to Vici Gaming's execution of their own game plan, like you said, not so much about what they chose to draft. I did see like they were in a bit of a pinch for time at the end there, but I don't know if you can attribute it to that, because I don't think the draft was the problem.
Yeah, it's very, very weird sometimes. You can have the better draft, but if the enemy catches you out by surprise in the laning phase, they do something out of the ordinary and you didn't expect it, and you didn't react in time quick enough to solve the issue that the different lanings that the enemy did, and you were late to think of a good solution, and you might even just lose out the early game just because of that, even though you have the better draft. So a lot of it is very unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen, even though you just look at the draft, okay, we're going to get this battle lane, but the enemy decides to do something different with their lanes, with their heroes, and it's just like the game where LGD they demoted the Alchemist that was supposedly the third position hero to a ganking role, and they let the Rubik be the third position role for like the first few minutes of the game, and after that they swap back, and it was the effect on
10
the game was
seconds remaining.
game changing. They won the early game because of that. How would you be able to
5
expect something like
seconds
that happen?
remaining.
Yeah, I mean, you called it, in your words, it was eye-opening, right? About the potential
Reserve
to
time.
to shuffle things, and yeah, I was very
It was
impressed
just
as well.
it was just
DK's
Alchemist
turn
being
to
able.
ban.
You're able to just do a lot of stuff with Alchemist. It's so unpredictable.
Yeah. So heading into this game, we are going to have the first ban on the Timbersaw. I'm not going to call it a respect ban to Ice Ice Ice, but he played it very,
10
very well
seconds remaining.
in our second game of this series. For anybody just tuning in, this is game 3. We're all tied up
5
1-1, and this
seconds
is the
remaining.
semifinals of the Sina Cup Supernova Dota 2 Open Season 2.
Reserve time.
I feel like the Timbersaw, when you're going to pick the bristleback already, not having the Timbersaw ban was a huge deal too for them.
Yeah, and they might have been able to leave they might have been able to leave the bristle a little bit later in the draft if they really
I
wanted
don't
it.
think there was a really big need. Like they took it up right away in the first place. Like
Yeah.
DK didn't even ban it or anything, and there was still a chance that DK were thinking, okay, you did bristleback the last game. I don't think you'll be doing the same stuff to beat us again. You'll be probably doing something else, and there's also a chance that they won't ban it. So picking the bristleback up so early just gives DK, okay, you're gonna do the same thing again. But we're not gonna do the same thing again that made us lose the game. So
And DK already dipping into reserve time here with this ban. So it looks like
Yeah, I
Burning
think-
is probably just thinking as far ahead as he possibly can.
which hero to give away? Oh, it's the Alchemist again.
DK's turn to pick.
Okay, so Venomancer makes it through, Clockwork makes it through. Is the
Which one will they pick? Will they pick both? I don't think they'll pick Venomancer. Like they don't really like that hero, even though that hero is really something that everybody has been picking and everybody's been talking about how strong the Veno as a support, and you can even use it as an off lane, and you can always put him in the solo mid position as well.
10 seconds remaining.
it's tough for DK. And the other question is,
5
if
seconds
you
remaining.
give away the Crystal Maiden here, then that's going to influence your mid picks moving forward
DK's
as
turn
well.
to
And
pick.
there's a lot of 6.79 drafting is complicated. In summary, I think.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell what's gonna happen. It used to be a lot more predictable. Like you know what the enemy's gonna go for, but nowadays someone can just open up first two picks, Tiny and Wiz, and the rest of the 9 out of 10 teams doesn't do it. Only Fnatic
10
does it.
seconds
Does
remaining.
this sort of opening. And when you look at the Chinese scenes, a few teams starts out with
5
first pick
seconds
Alchemist, and some
remaining.
teams starts out with first pick maybe a CM or another good hero.
Yeah. And like you said,
Reserve
there's
time.
no clear best strategies, and I think we see that a lot with the differences between the scenes. Like it used to be a lot that we had one scene innovating, and then everybody else would start to pick up on things a little
Yeah.
bit later. But right now we've got huge differences. Like we haven't seen that much Nature's Prophet in either WPC Ace or this, but we did see it a little bit yesterday, though for some teams in the West it's a really staple pick. So those differences as well are always interesting to talk about, given that we
Radiant
are
team
quite
pick.
a ways into 679 now.
Yeah, and everyone has been telling me that if you are playing against Fnatic, you have to ban the Wiz and the Prophet because that's their playstyle. So I think they are one of the few teams that utilizes Prophet a lot apart from Alliance.
But then what about
So
the
it's
Lifestealer, for example?
Like Lifestealer for me, the first team that comes to my mind that plays Lifestealer really, really well is Navi and
10
Fnatic. Fnatic
seconds
too, they play
remaining.
Lifestealer really well. But when you look at the Chinese scene, no one has been particularly
seconds remaining.
favoring the Lifestealer a lot. So it's very hard to tell what hero is better, what hero is least, what hero is not so
time.
good, and what hero is much more effective.
Yeah, and
It's down to whatever playstyle you want to have and which heroes complement your playstyle better.
Yeah, and I mean, it also comes... This patch, I think, more than ever, is if you have somebody who loves a particular hero and plays it really, really well, then there aren't very many non-viable heroes, I would say. Like, if you have the most amazing Rasta player, for example... I'm going to keep bringing up Rasta, because I want to see some more Shadow Shaman. But, you can build lineups around these heroes where you have somebody who's very, very strong on it. And I think
Let me
we also
let
talked
me
about
let me
Tinker,
give
for
you
example, right?
let me give you a lineup for example to
Radiant
complement
team
Shadow Shaman. This
ban.
thing suddenly popped out in my head. You
Yep.
reminded me of something.
Yep.
I used to have this thing in mind. I have Rasta, I have Dirge,
Mm-hmm.
I have Pugna,
Yep.
I have Conka, then I have Wench. Like I have every hero has something to place in a
10
team fight. You have a
seconds
boat,
remaining.
you have a Nether Ward, you have Rasta Wards, you have the Tomb. Apart from the Wench, the Wench just gives
5
aura
seconds
to the team.
remaining.
Yep.
Or you can have like a Juggernaut healing ward. You place the healing ward inside
Reserve
the.
time.
You used to do it. Place the healing ward in between the Rasta Serpent wards, and you can't target the healing ward.
So you just huddle around your little stack of like
Wards.
buildings and stuff, and yeah, I mean, I guess even with that, you could just stand under the other guy's tier 1 tower, right? How do they get in?
DK's turn
You
to
can just
ban.
sit
Yeah.
there, get healed up by the healing word.
It's like you're fighting at his tower, but it feels like it's your tower because of the amount of stuff you have. The Pogna ward,
So
the
this is-
Tombstone, the Rasta wards, the healing ward, and the ship.
So I'm gonna keep an eye out for this one.
10 seconds
Winter. This will
remaining.
be. Hopefully, well, everybody's listening, so you may
5
have just
seconds
given away
remaining.
your secret strat. But I guess the trick is as well, if you know how to counter it, then if somebody thinks that it's a
Reserve
good
time.
idea, then you're one step ahead. But
Radiant
yeah, I mean, it's
team ban.
another thing.
Next
Like
level.
all of those heroes are potentially viable at this point.
DK's turn to
There's
ban.
not so much of a gap between your premium supports and your supports that aren't seen a whole lot. There's not much of a gap between your premium carries and your carries that aren't seen a whole lot. So I think we've rambled on enough about how awesome 6.79 is. And getting back to this draft,
10
we've got Vici
seconds
Gaming. They do
remaining.
manage to get their hands on the Crystal Maiden, so they've again got these, well, potential
5
double roaming
seconds
supports. We've seen
remaining.
the Alchemist doing all kinds of crazy things over the past couple of days. Vici Gaming, again, kind of banning out Mushi.
Reserve time.
Getting rid of the Kunkka, getting rid of the OD, and DK, interestingly enough, will be getting rid of the Clinks. We saw this ban from them earlier, but I don't remember exactly where it led.
DK's
It was, I think it was just the
turn to
Luna, wasn't it?
Uh,
This was the
it
safe
was-
strat game 1.
It was wait, who? It was DK banning Clinks as well. Yeah, DK,
Yeah.
and they followed up with the Luna right after. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they just went for that, what we called the really safe, stable strat, duo core with, and this was back when they played against Forlove, and they did a variation of it in game 1 of this series.
Yeah.
And we've
If you let me, oh, it's actually the same thing. If you let me
Radiant
choose
team pick.
between giving away the Clockwork and Timbersaw against DK, I would always choose to give away the Clockwork instead of giving away the Timbersaw like the last game. I like the choice of Vici Gaming this time more.
Yeah, I mean, the Clockwork is annoying, but I think we've seen ISIS be much more of a nuisance with the...
Yeah,
The
he
Timber.
actually said. I remember he said this before. Like he prefers to play a off lane that has a potential of coming back in
10
farm later on the
seconds
game. And
remaining.
the reason he doesn't like Clockwork because the mechanics of Clockwork doesn't allow
5
him to get a
seconds
Midas.
remaining.
And he has no farming ability, efficient farming ability to let him catch up. And when he catches up, he
Reserve
doesn't do as
time.
much as like a Prophet or a Timbersaw. So he always prefers to play something else other than the Clockwork.
Okay. And I think those are all very valid, very valid points. And ISIS is a very efficient player as well, I suppose. If you give him someone with a little bit more room to farm, then he gets that. So DK, they go for the Weaver here. Vici Gaming already have a little bit of okay lockdown to deal with it, but DK, this is still a pretty familiar draft, I would say. Vici now maybe start considering. No, they go for
Oh,
the Chen. Maybe Chen DK, something like
DK's turn
Do you
to
feel
pick.
like you are seeing the same story unfold again?
Deja Vu, except it's Weaver instead of Luna. Yeah.
Man, are we really going down the same road again?
Look, game 1 was amazing. No two ways about it. That it was a very well played game from both sides. It was a treat to watch. It was a treat to cast. So, I don't know. I'm not too sad if we see another game of that caliber,
10
even if it's just a
seconds
familiar
remaining.
draft.
If they want to go even more greedy than the last game, they
5
can go for
seconds
Enigma
remaining.
this time. DK, like Enigma is also a support that benefits a lot from getting an early Midas, and it's easy to get
Reserve time.
the Midas
10
as
seconds
an Enigma
remaining.
in the jungle. So probably they could consider that
5
as one of the
seconds
options they
remaining.
have. No, same. Oh no.
Same lineup,
Radiant
pretty
team
much.
pick.
So we just need a mid for
So they
Mushi at
think
this
that
point.
they didn't play well enough, but they have a good lineup to win the game. And Vici is gonna respond by having, what did they pick here? Bristleback or the gyro? Oh, there's no gyro. There's no gyro here now.
Okay, so I guess maybe, Do they need more lockdown for
Wait,
the Weaver,
wait,
do you think?
let me ask you. If Vici Gaming respond with some. Oh, I was thinking Luna or Lundred. Yeah, they went
DK's
for the
turn
Lundred.
to ban.
Good replacement.
Lone Druid is a hero that I've been iffy about in 679. I've seen a lot of performances from the Lone Druid where he feels a lot like an anti-mage that isn't successful. You know, the kind
10
of game
seconds
where
remaining.
you've got this one hero who's just desperately trying to farm the whole time. They lose all of their tier
5
1s, they lose
seconds
all the tier
remaining.
2s. He finally finishes the item that he's farming towards, in this case, the Radiance.
Radiant
And it
team
doesn't
ban.
it doesn't turn the game around. I think that they're in a better position here because the Lone Druid should be fed some tower gold by the Chen,
Yeah.
and he should be pretty speedy.
I would
but,
actually,
yeah.
I would actually agree to you. Like, I prefer the Luna in this situation over the Lundred.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, it's nice to have another beefy hero
5
here, I guess.
seconds
They're going to have a
remaining.
core alchemist, they're going to have a lone druid, and they've still got space for somebody else that's difficult to bring down in the
Reserve
lineup.
time.
But I feel that the lone druid, it fixes your strategy a lot because he doesn't
10
have
seconds
multiple
remaining.
viable builds anymore. He's pretty much just got Midas into Radiance,
DK's turn
and that's
to
it. I
pick.
haven't seen anybody else doing anything else successfully unless they're desperate and they've pretty much already lost the game and they buy a Maelstrom and a Basher and
Yeah.
you know, go
let
for
me
those
tell
final
you.
team
Let me
fights.
tell you a good news of having Lundred.
What's the good news?
You have 12 slots.
Yes, but I'm every single time that gets said, I'm like, well, yes, but also the lone druid,
10
the hero
seconds
himself
remaining.
is basically just like a tethering post for
5
the bear,
seconds
right?
remaining.
And once the bear is just dying in every single team fight, I don't know. I'm not sure how convinced I am
Oh.
about the 12 slot
Radiant
argument.
team
Never,
pick.
never saw that coming. So, does it mean that they could run the Lifestealer solo mid against Alchemist?
Yeah, that would
and
be fine.
They could do either way too. They could also leave the Weaver against the Alchemist. Let me see, which hero will they give Mushi? They'll probably give Mushi the Weaver.
So, I mean, I don't think it would be out of the realms of possibility for
seconds remaining.
Burning to just be Lifestealer solo against the Alk.
5
So we'll see who
seconds
picks up
remaining.
what. And Vici Gaming,
Okay.
back to their old tricks,
Same
just bristle
story.
back. Same lineup, but minus the Gyrocopter plus Lone Druid.
Yeah, Gyrocopter is much stronger than the Lone Druid in certain areas, teamfight areas, and the splash damage. But Lone Druid is the much better pusher.
Yeah, and DK do have at least the Weaver that they're kind of waiting around for
Yeah.
in this game. He does need survivability item plus.
Mushi is actually gonna play the
fighting
Lifestealer
item.
base skip.
I do like the Lifestealer last pickup a lot because unless the Chen gets fairly lucky in the jungle with the creep that he gets, it should be fairly difficult to gank the
Yeah.
Nakes.
I feel like it's the same thing for the Weaver
10 seconds
because Weaver is
remaining.
also really hard to gank, but it depends on which one they think it's much
5
more suitable
seconds
for their
remaining.
lineup and which one is going to be able to beat the Alchemist more.
Yeah. So we're back. It's game 3, final game of this winner bracket semifinal between DK and Vici Gaming. Let's get ourselves underway. So
Prepare
very quickly,
for battle.
introductions. Over on DK, Burning's on your Weaver, MMY is on your Rubik, Mushi's going to be your Lifestealer, Ice on the Clockwork, and Lanham is going to be handling your
You have to try saying the Mandarin name. Come on.
What is it again?
Mao Mao Ya.
Mama Ya.
Yeah, say DK Mao Mao Ya on the Rubik.
DK Mama Ya on the Rubik. Okay, and that's Fluffy Duck, is it?
Yeah, fluffy duck, like furry duck. And
Furry,
on the
furry
Raiden side, we have Fenrir on the Chen, and we have our TK on the Bristleback. We have FY on the CM once more, Syla on the Lone Druid, and lastly we have Super on the Solo Mid Alchemist. Are they going to switch up their lanes? That's the question.
Yeah, all just kind of hanging around at the moment, considering.
They
it.
can actually, you know what, basically, because like, if they think of it this way,
30 seconds. to
DK is
battle.
going to put Lifestealer against your Alchemist. So do you change up your lanes and put the Bear against the Lifestealer and have your Alchemist on a safe lane?
It's a tough call. This is again another one of those like, there is no objectively right decision. I think it's completely a
So
trade-off.
we can actually see the decision already made. So it's gonna be an Alchemist versus Lifestealer solo matchup.
The battle begins.
I would say that this matchup actually favors the lifestealer a lot because the alchemist has to basically always push out the lane with acid spray, and one open wounds, and if you can't see the DK supports on the map, one open wounds you're dead.
And DK, what's the decision? They're actually bringing supports just over a little bit right now. So
Well, it's
maybe looking
actually
for
the-
the kill on the lone druid.
Look at the map, Baseskip. They planted the exact same ward too. It's like the same story.
Yeesh. Yeah, it pretty much exactly is. But we'll see what differences we have this time.
DK
around.
is smoke down here. They want to get the bear. He has no resummon if he dies here.
Sylar very
This is-
easy to
This
gank.
is the different story, Baseskip.
Yeah.
Different page.
Well, they need to get the lift here, and Rubik's base move speed is not too impressive.
He probably should try and hide in the trees now because the smoke is going to run out. Oh no,
They're
they're
just
running
going
in.
straight in. Do they get the lift? They do. They need the stun as well.
He's
Ice
dead.
Ice Ice with the cog. Sylar is gone, and that's going to be no berry summon for a little bit. First blood drawn by DK.
Like, that was a really interesting change up, and I felt like the ward there seen nothing. So there's got to be something happening when there's no supports pulling there.
Yeah, it's a little bit suspicious, but maybe they thought the gank was heading mid. I mean, the Vici Gaming supports were not too far away, and they're looking for a kill of their own. They've actually managed to find a troll trap.
Now the smoke gang is the smoke gang is on Vici's side. They are going to find a return kill after seeing the ward actually spotted both of the supports of DK teleporting right back to the safe lane. They'll probably try to get a gang on middle, maybe, but it's going to be hard. Like
It
you
looks like
said,
they were kind of in two minds. FY immediately went west. Fenrir kind of went east at the
oh,
secret
Lamb
shop.
is in a dangerous position.
Oh, Lanham a little bit too far out. He's going to get netted. FY coming in with the bite as well. Turns around, looks for the stun, doesn't connect on anyone. And Lanham will be brought down.
Oh, this is a very interesting change of events.
Yeah, but I think better the Leshrac than your Weaver. At least.
True.
Yeah, but still not the best. Vici Gaming looks like they're just kind of setting up shop here.
This is going to be something like oh no, Fenrir. Is he going to get caught out here? Like,
Burning comes in. Do
There's
they
a
have
lot
more
of
anti
creeps.
invis? They've got another sentry. They've got another trap up for this troll as well, but Burning's just going to bring it down.
yeah, if you look at the situation now, the situation has changed into mid lane.
Mushi's in some trouble. He will be able to rage the stun here, but still eats the damage. But he's fairly low and doesn't have a salve at the moment either. So needs to play this
Yeah.
pretty carefully.
He's gonna be sending a salve, I think. There's no reason for him to walk back now. I don't think he should. And there's gonna be a flying career pretty soon too, in 8 seconds.
Super. Concoction's coming out. Gets the damage. Won't be able to finish him off with right clicks. Even gets a stat shield block on that first attack. But yeah, Mushi can't really approach the creep wave at the moment.
The supports of Vici has actually rotated back to the jungle, deciding that they are not going to get too much accomplished on the top side of the map. They're going to just focus more on getting levels. And Sylar will have a really good time now against Ice alone. If the matchup is always 1 versus 1 and the supports of DK not rotating to give any help to the Clockwork, the Clockwork is not going to do too much against the bear.
And DK, they found this ward. This is big. Because
Yeah,
this was a big
finally.
problem for them in game 1. But now
Finally.
they've opened up the map a bit.
Yeah, this ward actually gave them so much info. Like, our TK was always able to spot where the supports are, and Super was always able to comfortably run up the hill knowing the supports are always pulling there or either camping to try and kill our TK. So dewarding that particular observer, that was so good for them.
Yeah, and now it's gone, so DK can run some pulls. They might even be able to get a smoke towards mid. Another smoke, maybe, to kill the...
Ice picks up a DD. He's gonna run in the jungle here, being really aggressive, poking forward. I don't think F4 saw him run up the ramp there.
He's on the hunt. Wants to find the Crystal Maiden or the Chen, but probably not both.
They
He's actually heading
can
mid.
wrap. Yeah, they can wrap around him if they know.
Oh,
Ice
he's
Ice is
gonna
there.
see the courier there as well. Can he actually kill it? No, they're just gonna go for Super.
Super's dead.
Comes in. Super's gone for sure. Throws the stun out onto Ice. He's still
maybe
slowed
not.
up a little bit. Maybe needs another rocket flare. Keeps on coming in with the battery, so one more right click's going to do it. Ice dives deep, but looks like he's still gonna be able to escape.
He's
and
gonna
picks
be
up the
dead.
bottom
I
as
think.
well.
He's gonna be dead.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
he's gonna be
supports are coming. Yeah, there we go. Bye, Ice.
dead. That was still a really high priority kill for Ice even though he had to give up his life for that he obtained his level 6, and his next TP out means that he always has a chance to get a kill now since he's level 6.
And FY and Fenrir, they actually managed to find another Dark Troll. So it's this same gank top lane. We'll see who they find this time around.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
got
Mushi
solo kill.
dies to the concoction mid. Okay.
Just getting started.
He still had rage to dodge the stun, but he
But he
still took
couldn't
damage.
live through the damage. Burning gets
Yeah, top
bitten,
lane.
there's a sentry ward
Burning.
here already.
Oh, the
But just
troll trap.
Shikuchi's away.
The troll trap didn't come in time.
Okay, so that's the second time that Vici have come top lane targeting the Weaver, and the second time that they haven't managed to kill him. They are actually going to loop around.
We were
MMY's
talking
over
about
here.
how hard for them is it to kill Mushi, but Mushi doesn't need to be rotated to be killed by the supports. Super did it alone.
Yeah, who's actually leading right now? You would expect that Vici Gaming, with the slightly
It's-
greedier support,
yeah.
should be ahead.
hard to tell, though.
Super
Mid lane.
getting attacked mid. Lanham doesn't end up connecting the stun. Super actually turns around. Not sure if he's going to be able to survive. He's actually got plenty of ultimate left. He's fine. Yeah, he's absolutely fine.
Now they know that the Lashrock is here. Something might happen top lane now, because they know that there's less support top.
Yeah, Sentry Ward thrown down. Burning skirts along the tree line.
Oh,
Needs to
but
wait for the
Burning
Shikuchi
has
cooldown. He's trapped in the trees.
He's dead. I think he's
Is he
dead.
dead? Is he gonna go back into true set range? They throw everything that they have out onto the poor Rubik. He doesn't have a Fade Ball anymore. Burning's dropping pretty low. Needs to be careful about his Shikuchi timing here. He does manage to bring down Fenrir. The Bristleback Kill Spray finishes him off, but Ice 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 is here looking for some more kills. RTK is still gonna be able to bring down MMY, but Ice 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 picks up a double as well.
There was 3 for 2 in the end, but DK had to rotate 4 heroes there, and
Radiant's middle
Vici had 2
tower is
heroes
under
farming
attack.
and moving around the map, so it was still not a really big loss for them, because they still managed to get Burning.
Yeah, and Sylar, well, he's got his Midas finished, and yeah, as you said, they got what they were there for. They finished off Burning. And Burning's actually gone for a Midas here himself, so both of our one-position farmers looking to take this fairly late. Mushi's not doing very well in terms of farm, just Phase Boots and a Bracer up for him right now, but he can maybe look to team up with Ice Ice Ice, who's doing very well, and maybe start setting up some kills and be setting the pace of this game.
Yeah, true. He can always be more aggressive and let Burning take more farm. Like they always prioritize on getting Burning more farm. But sometimes Mushi is on a hero where if he benefits a lot more from farm, then he'll be farming more, something like an OD. But this time round, I guess he'll be more aggressive with the Lifestealer, working together with Ice 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 to set up kills.
Yeah, and we are...
Mid lane, Ice 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 is coming. He has a hook shot.
They've
They actually
got
saw
vision
him
as
run.
well.
Yeah, they actually saw him. I was quite surprised he didn't run in with that.
Chen isn't level 6 yet either, so there's no Hand of God. as
Another smoke
backup.
gank.
Yeah. Actually, keeping track of the total number of smokes is going to be pretty important this game, I would say.
Did
This is
they
the third
use
for
all-
Vici.
Yeah, this is the third smoke, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so they'll probably have another one up in another 2.5 minutes, but yeah, this is the last one for a little while.
Lamb. If Lamb runs down to scout the rune, he doesn't have boots.
Oh, he's gonna get netted, he's gonna get hit by the concoction, and he will be brought down. That's the second time that Lanham eats a death intended for someone else. RTK, the target of Ice 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 up on top lane. There is some TP support making its way in. I don't know if they'll be able to close in here on Ice Ice Ice. He's just gonna cog as he
Yeah.
turns the corner, and looks like he should be able to escape.
They really didn't have to chase him. They can't really
Radiant's
get
middle
him.
tower is under
Gets
attack.
Well,
netted as soon
something
as he TP's bottom lane. Out comes the tornado as well, eating some big damage. Forced to use the hookshot defensively back onto MMY.
Mid lane, mid lane.
And more action mid lane.
Lamb is
Lanham
doing it.
again eats the stun. Mushi gonna try and fight off RTK, but they still pick up the kill on the Leshrac.
They might-
And
they
Mushi
might
might be
kill
in some
Mushi.
trouble. He doesn't have a whole lot of armor. Won't be able to invest into anything for a little bit. Super's gonna keep on diving. He's got the concoction stun. And one more round of kill
Dire's
spray from
middle tower
RTK
is under
gets that
attack.
kill.
In a lawn of
Oh, no, that was a major miscalculation. He should have just ditched right from the start. There was nothing he could have done. He tried to help the Leshrac by slowing down the but in the end, Super just managed to kill the Leshrac alone, and he didn't even need the Bristleback to help him do anything. And because of him spending his rage and and his slow, there was no way he could have defended himself. There was no creep that he could invest to.
Yeah, and now we're seeing a big difference in terms of, I would say, game 3 compared to game 1. The effectiveness of the supports. The DK supports just haven't
mid lane.
really...
I thought they would want to go in there. Maybe not enough range on the open wounds.
Yeah, and Ice Ice is like 2 seconds away from a hook shot. But I guess the other scary thing is that you have no idea where these Vici Gaming supports are. They're both just jungling all the time. They could be smoking, they could be jungling, but you're never sure, especially getting too close to a tier 1 tower.
Look at Mamo, yeah. Base hit. He has his bear. Oh, he just lost his bear. He actually has his own bear just now.
Radiant's middle tower is under
He's
attack.
doing okay. He's got some arcane boots. Poor Lanham is dirt poor and doesn't even have normal boots. Concoction flies in middle lane, but Mushi's gonna be alright.
The lead VG Gaming has right now is quite substantial. So if you look at it, they are having Midas on the bear. Burning has Midas too, but the other heroes are doing really well. And whereas if you look at DK, the Lashrak, like you mentioned, is really poor. This game, he's not going to get his Midas anytime soon.
Oh, there's an
Okay,
Invis
bottom lane.
Infest gank on Sylar bottom lane. He's already in bear form. Will they be able to do too much? They lift him back. They kill him off. Cogs as well from Iso Size,
Oh,
but
they can kill
FY.
FY too.
They jump in on top of FY. The bite's been stolen by MMY. More TPs coming bottom lane. They might be able to get Iso Size. The nuke rolls fairly low, but one more right click from Fenrir.
That was
still
really,
brings it
really
down.
little damage. Oh my god.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that nuke's gonna kill him for sure, and then took one more auto attack as well.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter in the end. They still got the kill, but DK managed to do something there to at least close down the gap they were in. So now, since the bear died, they are in a much more favorable position. Like,
Radiant's
compared
top
to the
tower
last minute
is
or
under
so.
attack.
Yeah, looking at the... I mean, I think we already have to start considering what's going to happen in the long term here. Just because we still have tier 1 towers up. Yes, once the Radiance is up on the bear, we might see a little bit more action from Vici, but at the moment both teams are just finding pretty good farm on their cores. The one thing I worry about, and this is something you touched on in the draft, for Ice, one, it's very similar to Game 1, where it's difficult for him to jump in on top of heroes here, just because they're all fairly tanky. He's not guaranteed to find many solo kills. And his late game scaling isn't going to be great either. So did DK try and shift gears?
Super is in trouble.
Gets jumped, he's able to pop the ultimate. There is a Hand of God maybe as well to back him up. The stun comes in from Lanham, Hand of God gets used. Super trying to escape, but Mushi's here. He's ready.
Oh, they're gonna catch
Sylar's
up.
chasing in here as well. Everybody from Vici Gaming making their way in. This troll does have a net for Mushi. He's going to be locked down. Lanham considers coming back in. Mushi just infests the Centaur, pops right back out. MMY keeps RTK locked down with the lift and with the frostbite. Ice
RTK
is
might be
still
in
here. He
trouble.
cogs in RTK. DK, it looks like they might be able to bring him down. FY walking in as well, gets the bite, the bear focusing on Ice, but RTK is dead, and Fenrir also
FY 's
dropping
dead
very
too.
low. FY is going to drop in a little bit more from DK. Mushi heading in towards
Radiant's
mid
top
lane, but
tower
ends up
is
being
under attack.
3 for nothing
Wow.
in favor of
they
DK.
fought. They won that
Structures
fight
are
4 versus 5.
fortified.
Burning didn't even come, and the whole team of VG was there.
Radiant's top
Yeah.
tower is under
I think
attack.
it's, again, I don't know what the Lone Druid did in that fight. He ran in from above the rune. He managed to walk
Radiant's
through the
bottom
fight,
tower
put his
is
bear on
under
somebody
attack.
for a little bit. But I don't think we even saw an entangle, and without that entangle,
This guy is
net
no bulldog.
contribution is like...
This
that's
guy
it.
is no bulldog. No first hit and
Radiant's
tangles.
bottom
No
tower
bulldog.
is under
Who was it
attack.
the other day as well that was getting first hit entangles back to back to back? I think we cast the game. I can't
Radiant's
remember
top
who
tower
though.
is
I
under
remember it was
attack.
like LGD International, the stand-in. Who was standing in, I think?
I see. Was it?
Can't remember
Radiant's
who.
top tower has been
that bad.
denied.
Yeah, that bear was also pretty impressive. And RTK actually manages to get the deny against Burning, pushing in on top lane. So nice little play there from him.
He actually chose to go for the Vanguard this time out against all the physical damage that DK has. I actually feel that getting a Vanguard on Bristleback is so good. Like, it's just the effect of the Vanguard on Bristleback is far superior than all the other heroes that gets a Vanguard.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes you
So much more tanky.
It makes you very tanky. To my understanding, it doesn't interact super favorably with his passive. But the thing is that when you have your back turned to people and they're trying to get those final right clicks to kill you,
It seems
that
like
he
impossible to go
seems
down.
unkillable. Yeah. Ice finds the bear, wants this kill. MMY is going to come in. He is very farmed for a support right now with that bear kill as well. Poor Lanham is still struggling to catch up a little bit.
He just got his boost because of the double kill the last fight, and his earn. His minus if he. Oh no, is he gonna get? Oh no, Super's gonna stun
Super
himself.
stuns
They're gonna go-
himself. Mushi, is he going to head up? The sun from Lanham, very conservative. They're not going to end up heading up the hill.
Yeah, after dying so many times, he has to play very safe. Otherwise, his Midas will never be coming.
Yeah, and there was actually a thought that I guess we could go back to while we have a little bit of a lull,
Radiant's
which was
top tower is
thinking
under
about the
attack.
long game. I'm a little bit worried about, well, maybe, I'm a little bit worried about Ice 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 for more than one reason here, but he's invis. Looks like he might be okay.
Oh no, MMY.
MMY,
Radiant's top
in comes a
tower is under
concoction. He's already dead. He's just gonna buy his Midas recipe and
Wow,
die.
really?
Yeah, okay.
Radiant's middle
This
tower
is
has
this is
fallen.
taking Midas to the.
Dire's bottom
the
tower
next
is
level
under
already.
attack.
Yeah, I find it really surprising on a
structures
hero like
are
Rubik,
fortified.
especially.
Yeah,
who-
I don't think Rubik needs a Midas that much. It doesn't benefit him so much. You have your
Radiant's middle
mobility
tower is
items
under
as soon as
attack.
possible. Your dagger or your
Dire's
force up.
bottom tower has
Yeah.
fallen.
And Vici, you've got a stun being channeled up. Lanham and
Dire's
Mushi going to
bottom
try and retreat
tower
up onto the
is
high
under
ground here, but
attack.
Super's going to keep on chasing.
Oh, no,
Forced to
Mushi
use the
got
stun on
stunned.
Mushi, but he didn't get to use the rage. He's stunned for a very long time. The bear's going to be able to
Tango?
come in here
Bulldog?
as well. Is there going to
Bulldog,
be
are
an
you there?
entangle? There's no boots on the bear. It looks like Mushi, there's going to be another stun. He's going to jump inside of Lanham, and they will be able to get out of here.
That was very good play. Good play by Mushi after messing up the first rage that he didn't get the dodge
Radiant's
stun.
top tower is under attack.
Okay, so maybe we can finally chat about this. In the long game, I worry about Ice Ice Ice, you know, how much farm he can get, how much of an impact he can have. I worry a little bit for Vici about locking down the Weaver, though he's been entangled top lane. And it's going to end up popping the time-lapse
Here comes a
hookshot
hookshot
in
on
on
Super too.
Super. He's got his ultimate. There's a Hand of God ready as well. He's got a stun, but burning, making his way in. There's the Hand of God. Bear on the way. Can they get an entangle? Super dropping pretty low, but FY is also here. Ice 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 gets
Oh,
bitten.
no,
Burning's
Bunny
already
goes down.
dead. And this is looking like 2 heroes dead for DK.
Radiant's top
That
tower
was
is
not
under
a good
attack.
idea at all. I know they want to fight 4 versus 5, but that was 2 versus 3 or 4.
Yeah, 2 versus too many, I think.
Yeah.
Radiant's
So you
bottom
get.
tower
What were
is
you
under
saying
attack.
again? I think
Okay,
you
so
haven't finished.
okay, if this game goes late, do you have one
Dire's
team
middle
that you
tower
favor?
is
I don't think
under
Vici
attack.
Gaming are taking it late. They're gonna pick up the Radiance and they're gonna
Radiant's
5-man. They've got a
bottom
Vanguard on their
bottom
Bristleback. They've got a
tower
mech
has
on their
fallen.
Alchemist. Neither of them
Dire's
is
middle
looking for
tower
long-term
has
farm. So
fallen.
maybe the thought isn't even really that relevant.
How late do you define late?
Like 35 minutes.
35 minutes is still. I think 35 minutes is still alright for DK, but if it goes beyond that, the 12 slots of the bear and the 3 cores. Oh, bottom lane, Super in trouble.
Super, MMY and Mushi looping him around. He's gonna get lifted as well. No concoction, he's still very tanky. Vitality
Top lane,
booster,
burning.
mech unused. Burning's in a little bit of trouble. There is gonna be an
Oh,
entangle
no,
as he uses the Shikuchi. This is about as bad as it can get. He is gonna be able to time-lapse out of the bite. And looks like he is gonna be able to Shikuchi back to safety. Fenrir setting up shop on the back lines, but doesn't have a troll. So Burning's gonna be able to
needs a
come in
troll.
here. And Midas one of his creeps.
That's the good thing about having Midas against Chen.
You just make him sad by continuously Midasing his creeps.
Yeah, I remember one game I
Dire's middle
played Chen,
tower
and the
is
enemy
under
had
attack.
Doom, and the Doom had the Midas, and every time he sees me, I lose 2 of my creeps.
Yeah,
So
it's the
that
same
was,
thing with the Lifestealer Midas as well. Super gets isolated, bottom lane DK are going to be
no.
able to force these TPs back. They had Mushi waiting inside Ice Ice Ice. He didn't actually have a TP scroll for top lane, but DK managed to force them away from the tier 1 regardless. RTK continues to move in. Ice Ice Ice, 4 stacks of Quill Spray up. Yeah, he's dead for sure. One more punch is going to finish it off. Mushi, do you really want to keep on fighting here? Trying to reconsider his target. He's got a rage. Gonna keep on raging. Will he be able to finish off? FY needs one more right click, but no, the Quill Spray finishes him off.
FY has a face boost. That actually saved him.
Wow. Okay, and Vici do still end up getting the tower top. I didn't spot if it was...
That was
Denied or
really,
not.
really last few terrible sequence of events for DK. The 2 versus too many scenario and that again. Even though they got super, but it was a very bad trade-off for losing the Clockwork and the Lifestealer.
Yeah, and they're now just a little bit behind. Call it, 1.5k gold, 3k experience, but I think Vici are just gonna start 5-manning at this point. You've got your Radiance finished on your Lone Druid, you've got your mech, you've got your Vanguard, you've almost got a 4-staff on the Chen. There's no big items on their way for a while. I guess all you have to deal with is the split push from the Weaver. And you should be able to start forcing down some
Heaven's
tier
Halberd
twos.
already done on RTK. This item would be extremely useful against those heroes that don't have PKD, especially the Weaver.
Yeah. Stun comes in top lane, and yeah, Burning, he's almost got his Lincolns finished, but he's still a ways off from getting a damage
Ice
item.
is being wrapped around. He might die here.
Ice. Sylar is invisible. RTK is going to slow him down. I don't know if Ice is going to be able to go for the cogs. He's going for the cog and he's going to try and TP. And he's going to be fine.
There was no return on the bear just now because he got hit by the cogs, so he can't return the bear into the cogs to hit
maybe
Ice
get the
Ice.
Radiant's
entangle.
middle tower
Yeah.
is under attack.
That was just really, really good play by Ice knowing that there was only one way that he could have survived that scenario, that situation there.
Just TP out and hope that there isn't a Crystal Maiden nearby or something like that.
He had to hit the cogs on the bear. Without that, there was a huge chance that he would die, unless he's extremely lucky with the entangles.
Well, Sylar hasn't been that lucky so far. He got that one entangle on burning top lane, but I think that's been the only...
Let me ask you something.
Only exciting
Someone once told me that to decide whether you're a good lone Jude player, it comes from whether or not you get your entangles.
Is it full RNG or is it pseudo RNG? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I guess it should be all random though, but it seems to me like some people just like gets the entangle more than some people. I don't know.
I think it might be pseudo RNG, in which case you can sit there hitting creeps and not get a couple of, not get an entangle for a couple of hits in a row and then kind of influence the chance, but I don't know if anybody's really doing that. Mushi gets jumped by RTK, but no way for RTK to stop him, so he's just gonna TP mid.
Ice. He's in trouble.
Ice again. Looks like Super's gonna end up stunning himself, however. FY's still here. Fenrir could just send him back if things get really ugly, so he's gonna be fine. And look at the Radiant Vision right now. They've just got wards everywhere on this top side of the map.
They basically have cameras all over your house now.
Yeah, Home isn't in trouble quite just yet, but it's definitely
Dire's
being
middle
cased
tower is
by
under
Vici
attack.
Gaming. And Sylar gonna resummon the bear already, so Vici
Dire's
Gaming
structures
showing that they are
fortified.
willing to stick around for this tier 2. Burning's gonna try and split push out top lane, but let's see. Super's coming in, Lanham.
Oh, land again.
They get the lift up onto Super. The bear is coming in.
Dire's middle
Can he get an
tower is
entangle? He
under
turns around for the stun. RTK gonna keep on quilling away at him. But Ice is trapped in the middle of no man's land. He's already used his mech. Looks like he might actually be able to make it up onto the high ground. Burning gets Radiance burned to death without using his time lapse. The freezing field drops from FY. Mushi's gonna be brought down as well. 3 for nothing at the end of the day.
That fight actually looked like Vici was chasing too far over their heads, and Burning just died there. He didn't anticipate the damage output because FY casted his
Dire's
freezing
middle
field
tower is
further
under
down, and
attack.
he didn't expect that suddenly there was an extra damage coming in. He wanted to wait for his time lapse to use at a later position, but he died before even getting the chance to use it.
And Vici Gaming looks like they might be able to get a tier 3 out here. We're still waiting 20 seconds for 2 DK cores.
Dire's
Maybe
middle
just get the
tower has
ranged
fallen.
Rax and Bale. No, just going to be content with the tier 3 and not risking anything. They're also going to plonk a ward down right on the high ground, but I don't know how likely that is to
Wow,
stick around.
look at the vision again, man. This is too much. This is obnoxious. They have cameras everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Radiant's vision right now, you could be excused in thinking that it's actually dire vision. They can see everything. And DK, no sentry wards. Actually, both supports just kind of farming up right now. Looks like Lanham is also working his way towards that all-important force staff. So maybe Dai is going to consider going for a gem soonish, but they do manage to smoke.
Oh, they're gonna smoke the Roche with the acid on the Rubik.
And he's placing it such that it hopefully doesn't show up outside of the pit. And Vici Gaming don't suspect what's going on, but they're pretty close, and they might have had this next
They
in
know
line
something
as
is
well.
up. Look at ROTK. He's gonna poke his nose in front.
Poke his snout.
Poke his snout, yeah. Snout is the better choice of word.
Okay, so we load up the Lifestealer bomb. Ice. Not a lot of vision right now, though. As Vici Gaming head over to mid lane, they do have an idea of where they are, but Vici Gaming can just charge down mid and force DK back to defend.
I want to
They
mention
don't even have a
there's
fortification.
also a Vlad's on Vici Gaming. This is very important. They have 3 melee carries, 3 melee cores. The Vlad's is gonna do so much for them here.
Yeah, and once the Lone Druid gets up to his AC as well, yeah, everyone's gonna be looking very tanky.
Those armor stacks, and the Chan catches a ice armor creep, the ogre.
Even if he just
So
has a
it-
wildkin along for the ride. Like, oh, and he has an ogre right now.
Oh, he actually has the.
Yeah, he has an ogre. Okay,
What?
you called it, Winter. Good job. Okay, so how does Burning
when?
kill anybody here? How does Mushi kill
Since
anybody?
when did that happen? What?
I don't-
Did
I
they
don't
have
know.
it the last fight already?
I don't know. I haven't
Oh,
been paying
Super.
enough attention to his creeps. Super, he's caught out a long way from his team. Looks like, are they going to use a Hand of God? It hasn't been used just yet. Now it pops in. He's still alive, and Mushi's being focused. He got entangled. The lift up, the throw down, but Mushi's still in some trouble. They force staff him back. Burning still wants his kill. He's got his time lapse, but he gets entangled. He goes back into the cogs with Ice. The Radiance Burn is still doing its job. It's 2 for 1 so far. RTK sitting at 50%. Lanham tries to stun on top of himself to be able to escape here, but I don't know if he's going to be able to make it out. Looks like Sylar actually gives up the chase, deciding that Ice is the more important target. RTK gets lifted, he gets thrown back into the cogs bounce, and the right clicks from MMY will pick up that kill. The Centaur is bouncing around everywhere. MMY, he's not done! He comes in with the Fade Bolt, he finishes off Fenrir, and for his final act, he's gonna steal Rabid.
Not the most useful spell, but still.
Style points.
They actually won that fight. What?
They did!
The start of the fight was Alchemist being in a far forward position. He just got caught out there for some reason. His teammates was like here, and he was there. And now it means like Roshan is also up for grabs for DK. That was a huge turnaround for them. They were in cruise control of the whole game up until that point.
In fairness, ask yourself who the mech in the hand of FY. What are you doing out here, buddy? Mushi's very fast. He's got an S and Y. He's even got vision up the hill, but deciding that, okay, not going to risk anything.
Once more speed, they escape. Look at that.
5-2-2. Here we go. And FY is still mid. Mushi
has no respect
coming in.
towards the life stealer.
Yeah. FY is he in some trouble. We do have the Alchemist making his way across. There's a 4-staff away. There's still the mech from Super as well. There's the mech. FY still alive. He's gonna jump inside the random Radiant creep that's over here. Ice jumps in. RTK is being focused. The mech's being used, and the nice rocket flare from Ice finishes off the CM. Lanham's dropping quickly. He's doing as much damage as he possibly can, and RTK continues kiting Mushi, and Ice in trouble after a 2-man stun. More right clicks coming in. The bear closing the gap. Will it be able to finish off Mushi? He's still running, but gets finished off by the Radiance Burn. Ends up being 4 for 1. And going for Crystal Maiden.
They tried to fight 4 versus 5 yet again. What's wrong? They do not like to fight with Burning at all.
And going for that Crystal Maiden was probably the biggest mistake that Mushi has made today.
We were talking about having 5-2-2 and the CM was not respecting the fact that there's a life stealer on the field, standing there, just farming.
Turns out Mushi doesn't have enough respect for the Crystal Maiden.
It was actually a calculated bait.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
100% planned. I mean, the Alchemist wasn't too far away. I don't know if they had vision of the haste rune, but yeah, Mushi definitely gets punished for that. And I was just about to say, like, I think the big reason that DK did so well in that fight bottom lane was because the mech and the Hand of God only got used for the Alchemist, so they weren't there to save anybody.
That was a really good point too, because without the heal on the rest of the team, it was actually a very, very big deal in that fight.
Yeah, and if RTK survives a little bit longer, then he gets more Quill Sprays off, and that's more damage. Yeah, all that kind of thing. But Vici Gaming, well, they take a 4 for 1 exchange, so big win for them. They swing into the pit, they pick up the Aegis, they give it to the lone Druid.
Instead of the Bristleback?
Instead of the Bristleback, yeah. I mean...
He's actually going for a Yasha?
I guess just S and Y?
I felt like he might even go for a heart or something like that to make himself even more unkillable, but he wants to go for
Speed.
S and Y. Speed, yeah, speed gaming.
It's the name of the game.
I told you, movement speed is king right now.
Yeah. Sylar hasn't got the memo. He doesn't have phase boots on his bear, and he doesn't have anything to go fast on his.
He has Rabbit.
Yeah. He does have Rabbit. He's going pretty fast anyway. DK, TP coming in from Burning, ready to try and take this fight, but the tier 2's already gone. Sylar picks up the last hit, and with Burning TPing in, there's no more split push pressure to be worried about on top lane. So Vici Gaming looks like they're just going to swing over towards mid. SNY is finished for RTK, and might just be able to force down this mid-rax. There is a fortification for DK, but the fact that there's no tier 3 means that DK will have to fight them.
Our TK will be walking around the map really, really quick with the stacks on the Warpath and SNY. Wow, that guy's gonna be almost close to max.
He's gonna be fast. We've also got double Vanguard. Super went back for a Vanguard, but now he's heading towards maybe an SNY as well. Or it could be a Heaven's Halberd, of course.
Yeah, could be. But movement speed again, SNY.
They lift up the bear. Burning does have his Desolator now, so he's actually Well, he's a little bit scary in terms of damage, but we've got
Oh,
so much
running.
armor up on Vici
Running.
Gaming, and the stun
Running.
goes out. ROTK is running in. They drop the Heaven's Power, but he's going to be able to time-lapse Vici Gaming, focusing on the racks. Little bit of dissent as to what to do, but Ice almost down. Burning in trouble as well. FY. They managed to bring down Burning. ROTK chasing him down over by the tier 3. Silo dropping low, but he's still got this Aegis. MMY trying to escape, but the Radiance burn damage along with the Quill Spray is just doing so much. Mega kill streak for Sylar. Mushi retreats back to the fountain as ROTK grabs his SNY from the enemy's base. And now they head back for the racks.
Oh no, he actually went for Heaven's Helmet,
Dire's
not
middle
SMI.
barracks has fallen.
This is not the winter approved build. Anyway,
Dire's
so
bottom
Vici
tower
Gaming,
is under
there's
attack.
no buybacks.
Sorry. I just like movement speed.
Gotta go fast. So
Dire's bottom
DK,
tower has
no
fallen.
buybacks. Gonna lose 2 lanes of racks here. It can't be Mega Creeps, there's still a tier 2 top, but this is looking like it should be Vici's game at this point. 12k gold lead, 12k experience lead. They grounded out. DK, bit of a misstep in looking for that Crystal Maiden on mid, and that just completely opens this game up. Mushi's looking for couriers right now.
Radiant's
He gets it.
courier has been killed.
And now he's just gonna try and
pay for
TP
it? Will he
out.
pay for it?
Oh,
Oh
there's
my God, that
not
was so
quite enough
close.
damage.
Throw it.
That was so close.
Mushi making plays. I don't know if that's gonna be enough.
That was
to-
just a desperate play. Like, he knows that they are so screwed that he has to do an Aegis steal, career kill with some divine inside it, or just get some sort of play happen. But Lifestealer, unfortunately, the limitations on plays that a Lifestealer can do is not too much.
There are only
There's only so
Yeah.
much you can do as a
Yeah.
Lifestealer.
you can use Infest and you can use Rage and you can use Open Wounds, but none of them really make for huge plays. At least not in this situation. So Vici Gaming just gonna head top. They still have the Aegis up for another minute and a half. They've
Man,
got 2 lanes
If
pushing
you,
in
if,
all
you,
the time.
if you think about it, Burning, there's a possibility that in a fight, Burning might not even get a chance to hit anything at all with the 2 disarms.
Yeah, and at the rate that he's been dying in these fights as well. Like, Weaver, his bread and butter is, you Shikuchi in, you find a spot to throw out a couple of auto attacks, Shikuchi comes back off cooldown, you run around to a new spot, and people just aren't able to track you down.
Dire's
Vici
top
Gaming
tower
don't
is
care.
under
They've just got
attack.
Radiance Burn and Quill Spray
Dire's
going the
top
whole
tower
time.
has fallen.
And
There's
they
no
also
need to
have,
focus
They also
Burning.
have a lot of meat and a lot of armor. Look at those 3 cores. They stand in front of you, how are you gonna kill them? Look
Yeah.
at those 3 cores.
Burning. He's got Ice's bottle. He's got a double damage. This is their last hope for this team fight. They get the stun out, but Super and Sylar, there's just too much beef. They're going to keep on working away. Mushi trying to bring down Sylar. Burning gets stunned. Does he have a buyback? Looks like no. That's just GG. Mushi's going to be chased down. Gets bitten. Force-staffed back so that he can fest into MMY. But MMY is going to be stunned up, so Mushi's going to just pop out, make his escape. MMY goes for the buyback. Sylar's going to be back in just a second. The freezing field. MMY gets force-staffed further in. And DK, that's going to be the GG.
Wow, same
Dire's top tower
story,
is under
same
attack.
ending. Well, actually different ending, but
Radiant victory.
different way of ending the story. But it's still DK not getting the win in the end.
I think that the big thing was that at least for me, the DK supports did not feel nearly as impactful as they did
Yeah.
in
I
game 1.
actually have a different opinion on
What's your
CM,
take?
CM, Chen, and Alchemist already. I didn't realize that these 3 together is so... Pretty sure the combined win rate is really high now. CM, Chen, and Alchemist.
Do you just think they complement one another really well?
Yeah, they really showed like these 3 together can do a lot of random stuff, a lot of stuff that you can't expect, and it's so diverse. Whatever they can do, you can't really try to shut down every single thing, and at the same time they are extremely greedy, which fits the current meta.
Yeah, and I guess unfortunately for DK, they didn't have anybody that could solo against the lone druid. So even if you say, oh look, we can just go Weaver, Leshrac, Rubik, aggro try, well, that doesn't necessarily solve any problems whatsoever. So yeah, I think I have to agree. The Alchemist, Chen, Crystal Maiden did a lot.
This is
in game.
this is the reason why I don't like. Sometimes I don't like when I look at DK play. Like when Isis is on a hero like Clockwork, the stuff he manages to do is so vastly different if he's on a hero like a Timber or a Prophet.
Yeah, it's. I mean, DK in 6.78, they were able to make use of the strength of their solo players so much, but you can't really force that through quite
Yeah,
so much
because
in
it's
7.9.
because it's mainly 2-1-2 right now, or
Yeah.
just jungling supports everywhere around the map, and there's no actually particularly lane that's safe. Every lane seems to be like dangerous every time. There's no
Yeah.
safe lane. There's no such thing as a safe lane anymore.
I mean, you can't even be like, look, I'm going to put a sentry and an obs here, and I'm going to keep my camera here for the whole game, and my carry's not going to get ganked. You can't predict the smokes anymore. And I guess the other thing is as well, it's no longer. I don't think 1v1 exists. Like, it's 1v1. It's 1v1 up until the point where Puppy walks in and is annoying on his support, or whatever support you have. There's always going to be that extra element in your 1v1s. But anyway, we're gonna send DK down to the lower bracket, and I guess we have to still work out their opponent as well. So that's going to be our final best of one coming up next. But Winter, any closing thoughts on the series?
Closing thoughts is having a lot of cameras to spy on your enemy home is a really, really important thing of success.
Yeah, Vision for Vici Gaming was great. So guys,
Vision and movement speed gaming.
yeah.
Not to forget that.
Okay, so guys, that's going to wrap it up for the series. We still have one more game left. It's a best of one. It's Hearts Get Together versus 4Love, so I hope you'll join us for that as well. I've been Baseskip. If you want to leave me any feedback on my casting so far, you can email me at baskipdota@gmail.com. Otherwise, yeah, we're going to be jumping ourselves into our nightcap game, I guess. The winner of that lower bracket, BO1, will be playing against DK tomorrow, I believe.
All right.
Sweet. So see you guys there.